Okay everyone, this is part 5 of the Accordian album, and this is what the book's looking like closed at the moment. We've got a bit of blue showing on this tag, and we're going to have some ribbon in there towards the end probably. You can see I've added a little label on this second page, and I've stamped the word play in there, just because really that was the only stamp that I had that was small enough to fit in there. And I have gone back and done a couple of other things. On this first tag, I've added a bit of green lace, the lace punch down the side of there. Two reasons really. One, it seemed to need a bit more brightness on that tag, and I've used the doily punch here, and I don't like to use one thing just once in any album. To get a unified look, you need to use repeating motifs really, or colours or whatever, and you can see so far I've got this black on each page. I've got the doily punch on a couple of pages and the flourish on a couple of pages. I need to think about repeating this flower possibly on this page, maybe the bird, but those aren't quite so vital. I've also added a bit of green paper to this stopper just to break up the pink, and a bit of bright green ribbon on this tag, which I'll show you in more detail in a minute. So for the belly band page, I've just done a fairly straightforward photo mat and a journaling spot on the back, and I've used a stamp again on the back that picks up the pattern that's on the paper on that page, so that goes in there. And this tag is a new die I've just had, another Marianne Creatables die. I've been dying to get this for probably a year or more, and I've finally treated myself to it, so I'm using it in this album. I've cut it out twice because my paper is rather thin, and put it back to back, so I've got a nice finish on each side. It actually doesn't quite match up, which must mean that the original die is slightly out, but I don't think it's enough to matter. And to mat that, I've just put this onto the paper, drawn round it and cut it out, so I've matted it with this shape on the inside. Okay. So that goes in there as well. I'm leaving the brown showing because I've got the brown showing here, so again it's the same things happening throughout the album. And now I'm going to go on to this last page. Oh, this bit of flourish here was the bit I had left over from the original border die, so that seemed to look quite nice on there, so that's on there. Now I'm going to make a pocket on this page, so that I cover up this gap at the bottom. And I've just picked up an offcut from something else that I've used. It actually measures obviously 6 inches that way and 2.5 that way. I've scored along the bottom 3/8, and then I've measured the width of my paper that's matting this page, marked it with pencil on either side here and here, and just scored down so that I've got my pocket. To fold that, I cut out this bottom corner on each side, and as I'm doing that I just taper slightly, and then I also taper the top a little more steeply this time, just so that doesn't show when I put the pocket down. So that now folds nicely like that and will fit on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just crease this down thoroughly so it's nice and flat. I'm going to fold the sides in, put a bit of glue along the bottom here, sorry if I've gone out of shot, put a bit of glue here, fold the bottom up, let that stick, and then I'm going to glue round the edges. As close as I can with the glue, particularly into the corner. I don't want to get it on the inside of this pocket. Just take that up, and then I'm going to glue that on there, just so that I've got that little border at the bottom. Put the glue away. If you do your pockets that way, you get the whole width, so the big tag will fit in there. You could just cut a piece this size and glue or tape around the 3 edges, but then you would have to cut your tag a bit narrower. So I'm going to finish this off camera, but I'll show you what I've decided so far. I'm having a big tag which is going to go in here, and the way I turn this piece, which is 3 3/4 by 6 inches, into a tag, is to cut off one corner. Okay, so I've cut off this corner, turn that round, hold it over this corner, and cut along there so that that's equal. And I'm also going to mark the centre, or roughly the centre, so I know where the hole's going to go. So I'm going to mat that on one side, I think with this black paper again. Pretty sure I'm going to use that, and I'll have journaling paper on the other side. And the pocket, I've cut out, or I've used a birdcage die, and mine's the memory box, I think that is. And I've made it into a chipboard element. I've cut it out 3 times in card, once in the black pattern paper. That's going to sit on there, probably have a bit of bling in the top. And then I've cut using Spell Dividers Labels 4, which is what I used for this little one here as well. I've cut that out in the pink paper, and I'm going to put that on there. I might cut it again in black just so that it sits up a little bit. I'll have a think about that. The Beautiful's not spelt how I would spell it. There's 2 L's on the end there, but I've decided not to worry about that too much. And I may put a lace border across the top of this pocket. I'll let you know if I make that decision. I probably will though, I think, just to break up the green. So I'm going to finish that, as I say, off camera, and then come back and we'll start the other side. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.